once stuff gets destroyed, they can just move further and further away. And in this case, we've got a really nice little civilization starting here. So this is a roughly 24 hours when the server started. We've already got a really cool little civilization that started, ended, and then restarted in an entirely different place. And I think that's beautiful. You can tell it's legit because he's only half diamonds, half iron, and most people who duplicate have literally no tact. Also, message for Toycat inside, I just realized. Let's see what it is. Toycat forgot Echo's stream. I am very upset, Toycat. Where Diamond Sackboy told him to meow, meow. Toycat is meow. This is the worst message I've ever read. You know, I will not be sad if this civilization collapses in the next 24 hours. While we're talking about things that I wouldn't miss if they were to burn down or mysteriously vanish, there's this very strange statue of a villager. Is it even meant to be a villager? Is this meant to be anything? Is it a pig standing upright? I don't know, but it's pretty horrific. And then just a little bit over here, we have what was going to be the start of something great that I would assume was griefed if it didn't look like. No, actually, I think someone did just give up halfway through making something here. Same with this, right? Like, this is so specifically destroyed that I don't think it has been destroyed. I think it was just half built. And the text down here. Sorry to interrupt this build, but there was right where my house was going to be. Sorry to disappoint. There was a chest that might have been destroyed. So, yeah, I really do think that, you know, when the Java community gets to building something, they generally seem to do, like, a cool, interesting build. But based on what we've seen today, they also are very good at just getting halfway through something and giving up. Something I do find really suspicious is the fact that pretty much the exact same build, you know, from a different material, but this same idea of like a skyscraper with no content on the inside, besides just stairs/ladders up, the fact that that's been built on both servers, fairly near the spawn, maybe it's just an unoriginal idea, just having a, you know, perfect skyscraper up the ceiling off the same material. Maybe that's just a really easy idea that has, you know, come across by pure chance, or maybe there's something more up here. Maybe there's something about Bedrock and Java that's the same. Maybe there's something about all players when thrown into a survival server that will cause the exact same outcome. I'm not really too sure here. I'm just kind of interested to see. Because like I said, pretty much everything else I can see anywhere around here has the same issue of just being unfinished, a work in progress. And work in progresses are great, but we've got to see like you know, a work that's not in progress, a work that has progressed, and I see none of that around here. Okay, you know, I lied. I do in fact see a work not in progress. There's this beautiful house right here that has 2 doors, a dog, a furnace, and a crafting table. So yeah, this is the Toycat is yes house. Please don't steal. Please don't steal. I can't be on the server 24/7 to keep stuff safe, you know. You know, it's really nice of him to just like politely request. And if people, you know, listen to that request, then that goes to show Java community is full of great guys. Oh, also it shows everyone's health above their head. Yeah, there definitely seems to be a common theme of courteousness on this server. I am sorry for taking some of your wood. You know, people don't need to say that to each other. A lot of people on the Realm experiments were nice to each other before they entirely weren't. It seems as though the niceness has survived this entire time over here on Java, which, you know, we've got many days to see that change, but I hope it doesn't. I really hope that we have a place where everyone's just nice to each other and does things that are generally not awful. So, 2 interesting things about the Java Edition server, 36 hours in. One is the fact that no one has come back to finish this. They just thought this was an acceptable way to leave their house, and I disagree vehemently with their opinions. And 2 is the fact that even though the server has kind of decreased in popularity, mostly because of its lag, even with 4 people on, we're still experiencing serious lag. So, again, I feel like I probably configured something incorrectly. But, you know, if we fix that shortly, then we can start to see what we can get up to. Because right now, as best I can tell, the most that I've seen are a bunch of signs saying Toycat is yes. That's about all the progress we've seen in the last 12 hours. I think because of some server issues I ran into. On the other hand, the Bedrock server, as you can see over here, has a healthy player base at all times, but also a lot of people come in and, I don't know, invade the Reich, and then the Reich falls, and then everything's on fire again. It looks real rough. It looks like there are some people who do not like that other people build things, because literally 12 hours since this burgeoning little society turned into a hellhole where everything's on fire and destroyed. I like that whoever it was, though, left the Toy Cat Cathedral. Everything else here, it's a wreck, it's on fire. The Toy Cat Cathedral seems to be perfectly in shape, and I love that, you know, it's a respectful griefer, if nothing else. Oh, it makes it even more tragic that the Tundra Village had literally one rule. No griefing, please. Man, what a monster, you know? I thought this guy was like, okay, you really enjoy griefing, it's just your favorite thing to do. At least you didn't grief the Toy Cat Cathedral, but he griefed it. There was one rule, and he broke that one rule, and that is just the most tragic thing I've ever seen. So someone just offered to teleport me. It's Assassin BO55. I think he just teleported me to the sky. I'm also like 95% sure this guy's hacking. I have no proof of that yet, but I mean, we could always do what we do best. I'm not gonna kill the guy. I'm not gonna ban him for that. He gave me some bread. I guess we're cool now. So the sheer number of players that have come through this Bedrock server have basically made the most effective strategy just to, again, find your little base, hide somewhere, and then build your food from there. And it seems as though this has happened all over the server, which is really, you know, nice for the players, but it also means there's no real impressive sign of civilization. I mean, you get houses like this, which, for the record, like, man, this is like one of the worst houses I've ever seen. I get that it's built from natural resources, probably built from a mesa biome, but it's still one of the ugliest houses I've seen in a while. It's off-center. It has to be deliberately designed that way, right? But sadly, pretty much anywhere I go, even when you're hundreds of thousands of blocks from spawn, like this one right here, you can see how, like, oh yeah, we've got like what seems to be the start of a civilization, or maybe someone just ended this. I'm not too sure which way around that goes. You get a lot of examples of just like, man, this is something cool is about to happen here, but also I'm kind of missing it. Oh, it looks like they've, you know, found the list of griefers or hacks or whatever, and they're like, you know what, we're going to put them on a list. We're going to somehow get them with our FBI skills. I'm not sure how that one works. Toy can we get a fishing rod? Why can you not get a fishing rod? Oh, it requires string and there's no mobs. That's interesting. What I'll do instead is I'll give them exactly 2 string, which is just not enough for a fishing rod, because I'm a benevolent ruler, if nothing else. But yeah, it's really interesting to see the signs of progress that always get somewhere, and then when things get too big, civilization scatters. Speaking of wild, the spawn area, like I mentioned, this is like the hub for people who come in to grief and do whatever else. And, you know, obviously you've got the usual towers of where people have done the lava water thing. I get that. But interesting enough, you also see a few houses that have started in the middle of this, which, to me, the only way this could have happened, right? Because these houses are so high up, someone decided, oh, even though there's these giant lava coils there, and even though everyone spawns here by default, including people who apparently want to cause, you know, like harm to people's builds, even with that in place, people decided to build their houses here, which I just cannot understand the logic in that one. But yeah, you might recall how we spawned on a savannah, and there was a little bit of a mesa next to it. You can still see that a little bit to this day. I mean, you can see someone made a blaze, and then the blaze is gone, and then everything else has been long abandoned. It's kind of cool that this looks like the remains of an ancient civilization. It's been 4 days, right? And it looks like it's the remains of some long forgotten you know, civilization. Yeah, the one common trend I see everywhere is people trying to build Toy Cat statues. That's your sign that you're one of the good guys. And the sign that you're a bad guy is maybe if you cover that with jungle planks instead. Or maybe this is just the lowest budget Toy Cat statue I've ever seen. But yeah, the number of players coming through the server on a daily basis seems to be much higher than normal, and that leads to a lot of really strange outcomes, which maybe is a good thing. I'm not even entirely sure. Meanwhile, I finally got the Java server back online, 1.14.3. It's weird, the most recent version of Java, you know, no one ever uses it, and I was like, let's use it. But one of the reasons no one uses this particular build is because it just doesn't do good things to servers. Like, servers eventually break with it. We've gone back a version to 1.14.2. So many servers are like, okay, we're going to play 1.12 or 1.8. I've always been a fan of like, you know what, let's use progress. Even if we have to have some regress in some ways, then it's better to have the very newest versions, in my opinion. That's how I've always operated my life view, and apparently when it comes to this server that is incorrect, but I want to check it out regardless. Let's see what's going on around the place, because a lot has changed, it seems. By coincidence, I happen to be near this building again, suspiciously similar to the one on Bedrock, even griefed in a similar manner by having similar blocks just like shoved all over it and blocks destroyed. It's very suspicious to me, the links between this building and that exact same one. But other things that we have around here are the Toy Cat signs. They have made it over, it seems. I look more like an owl than a cat. Actually, is this me? Toy Cat is yes, statue of our god Toy Cat. One thing that has to be said is, although the Java server server doesn't necessarily have, you know, it's not necessarily undestroyed, but the spawn area is much prettier. There are more things that are just about remaining, because even though people destroy it from time to time, it seems they're not using the same mass destruction techniques, and it means that there is always something happening at spawn. It looks like a very much real spawn server, if nothing else. There's even a little village near spawn. I mean, the walls aren't going to protect you from people who apparently use explosions, or at least lots of mining. But, you know, it's nice to see regardless. It definitely seems as though the Java server is the more, you know, polite of the two. There are fewer people who are here trying to just, you know, make things a bad time. Also, did these people